SBA or Radford and Radford to be held accountable, or this?
Well, they have a warranty, just like every other contractor has a warranty period. And then that's why the SBA requires an 11-month walkthrough of the building. And as issues come up, you know, you'll be tweaking your HVAC system for almost a year, because you have to go through all these weather cycles. So all those issues will be accountable during that process.
My only point is, I work in 35 counties dealing with schools, and many times the problems with the facilities happen after that period's over, and it's the local board that will have to make up the difference. And I can assure you, if it's a substandard building, it will cost more than $750,000 over and over.
If we can talk to Radford and hire these guys, I'm sure it won't be substandard.
I have a question on what you consider substandard. I mean, some stuff, like I represent the bricklayers, and our typical word is you climb a wall because it's laid up right. All right, that's not, as long as it's safe, what do you call substandard in that case?
I've never worked on a project where I've had what I want to call substandard building. I think where you get into substandard buildings is when you get somebody wants to substitute things that are not in the drawings and specifications, or substitute or do things differently than what the normal construction methods would be, and that's how I think you get into substandard buildings. But cutting corners, and no, you know, to save money. And that's as long as
quality of work. I mean, how does that work towards the project being watched for in how well it's built? You know, some of it may function as is.
Well, I've ripped down walls before that have been laid up wrong, so you know, I don't have a problem doing that, and I don't have a problem rejecting work. As a firm, I speak for my firm, and we've torn down walls and ripped things down just to prove the point, so, and not pay people until they get it right. And that's the only thing we have, that's the only hammer we have, is reject work and non-payment till it's right. Now, I've seen it happen on both. I've seen it happen on non-union jobs, I've seen it happen on union jobs. And I've seen 2 union jobs 5 miles apart, depending on who the superintendent is on each job, same company. You can have good guys and bad guys, but you've got to have that seasoned person leading those guys that are new to it. You know, it works both ways. So.
Yes. Has a county ever asked to go and visit sites of other projects? Like,
not to my knowledge, but we can.
I mean, I guess they have the right to do that if they wanted to.
They sure do.
Another board member, Thomas Raymond, and I did go visit Hannah High School, and of course it wasn't Radford and Radford,
No.
but you can go and visit, and we can,
Right.
other high schools and look. But I appreciate Mr. Ferguson, and I know I kind of put you on the line, but I appreciate you guys so much because I know you have this at heart. You want a good school here, a good quality school, and you've really done your homework, and especially Mr. McAllister there, and was really impressed with all the information he has given us. And
Let me ask you one more question. You said you had a 45-day window. When's their window left?
I have to look at the set of bid
May
volumes.
3rd.
When is it?
May 3rd, that's what the SBA told
And
me.
you all have another meeting April 20th, don't you? I mean, you don't have to decide today, do you?
yes,
You do?
it's on our agenda to decide today, and so we will have to go ahead and do that. But you guys have been terrific, and I know that you understand that there's a possible lawsuit if we don't, if we go to a second bidder. We have to have a real good reason why, and it could hang up in court for months and months, and we don't want the school to go on that long. But we really do appreciate you all.
We appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, I now have, Donna, you want to make?
I just want to know, are we ready to move back
Right.
to regular procedure? Any more questions of anybody? Okay, I just make a motion, we go back to a regular meeting procedure then.
I'll second.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded to go back into our regular meeting. And we do appreciate you guys speaking out and asking the questions you did. We will now make the motion to award contracts for the construction. Oh, he's really good. He hasn't been here long, and he reminds me to vote. All in favor?
Only thing I know.
All in favor of going back into regular session, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Ms. Smith, are we gonna be able to ask Mr. Polly anything, or do we need to make a motion
Actually,
and ask him?
if he would like to say a few words about it before we make the motion.
I just would like to know if he's had any conversations that he needs to share with us.
And your opinions on things.
Yeah.
Well, I have had some conversations with architects at the SBA, their engineer, and I wasn't in the office whenever Dr. Manchin called to discuss this, the complaints that had been transferred to them and they had to evaluate. I'm off for union guys. My dad was a UMWA for 42 years. I grew up in the coal mines in Boone County. And I don't have a preference on who should get the bid. I would like to see it be union. I'm just concerned about losing the project. And that would be a travesty to the students. If all of a sudden we prolong this process and the SBA said, well, there's, and when I presented SBA projects as superintendent in another county, you have a long list of people that submit projects, and there are people right down here under the line waiting on that money. When someone doesn't pass a bond or doesn't get the project, the money to go through with the project, they're waiting on the money, and the SBA is not going to hold the money up. They're going to go ahead and issue it to someone else. And that's my only concern. I'm sure that I don't know anything about construction, about who does the best job. I just know that we don't want to do something that'll jeopardize the students in the hearts.
Is it your understanding too, I know Mr. Ferguson alluded to the possibility that if we went with the second bidder, that we would be responsible for the difference in that bid? Is that your understanding?
I was told that in a telephone conversation with the SBA, that we would be responsible for the difference of the bids. And it was also indicated to us that if we go beyond the May the 3rd, that there's a possibility that we would lose the project. But that I wasn't given anything in writing or anything like that. That was just a possibility. The possibilities were laid out there so that we would know what we were dealing with.
That's what the SBA told me.
Yeah.
That if you all throwed out first place, you'd have to come up with the rest.
And then if we didn't do it timely, that we could lose the money. Again, there's other counties waiting on this fund.
Time is still May 3rd.
Yeah. And in my talking with this Keith McClanahan from BBL Carlton, he had agreed to kind of meet us and cut cost, but he may not be, from talking to Mr. Ferguson, he may not be the one we choose, and the next one may not agree to do that. So I think we just about have to move on and get this school built. And but I hope, like you suggested, that we can hire a good, and did you call it a clerk?
Clerk of works.
Okay. And if we can get some recommendations on a good one, I'd like for you to throw their names out there so that we can check them out.
Do you know when it's going to be advertised?
No, it's been,
This week or?
Yes.
for the past 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm thinking the 14th, but I have to look.
Is it in Charleston?
And I'll do that.
Charleston?
I'll do a look before we leave from here.
But I appreciate you all agreeing with us and understanding why we're doing what we're doing. I need a motion now to award contracts for the construction